is what you came for. Lightning strikes every time she moves.
Math morning. I didn't yell today. I've been yelling too much. I need to save my voice. Anyway, this is what you came for. Solving percent problems. This guy down here, that's Austin Powers. You might not know him. It was a popular movie in high school when I was in high school. So if you were my age, you'd get this. Maybe you get it, maybe you don't. I don't know. We'll see. All right, let's dig into this. So today we're going to solve percent problems. There's many ways to do this. I'm going to show you one way that works every time. Percent, that means for every 100 or out of 100. So if you got a 70% on a test, that means you get 70 right out of every 100 questions. If you get an 80% on your mastery check, right, that you got 4 out of 5, that means you get 80 out of every 100. The method that we're going to use involves this proportion over here. We're set it up like this, so whatever percent it is, you put it over 100, and then you're going to substitute is and of for numbers. After you substitute the numbers in, we're going to check to make sure we wrote the answer correctly, because if it's a percentage, you need some of these things, the percentage sign. All right, let's try a problem. First example, 92% of 42 is what? So I'm going to write out the proportion example, but before I do that, I want to annotate the text. So I want to circle some things, box something, and underline something. So every time I do this, I'm going to circle the percent. This is 92%. Where it says of, I'm going to box that. And whereas is, I'm going to underline that. Okay? So now if I look back, percent over 100. So it says 92%. So that is we have percent over 100 equals is over of. And I have 92%, so I can put the 92 where the percent was. 100 is always there. All right, which was is. It says is what? I don't know what that is, so that's where I put a variable. I'm going to use x. Of 42. So of is right there, so I'll put the 42 right there. So now I have this proportion set up. I just need to solve it by cross multiplying. So I do 100 times x, that's 100x. 92 times 42, let me use my calculator for that one. All right, 92 times 42, 3864. All right, 3,864. So 3,864. So 100x equals 3,864. Now I need to divide by 100. I divide by a 100. This sides cancel. I have x equals, I could use a calculator over here, but I don't need to. If I'm dividing anything by 100, that means I take the number and I move the decimal point 2 to the left. So 3,864 becomes 38.64 because the decimal is here, and I went 1, 2, and I put it right there. So there's an answer. X equals 38.64. But what I want you to do whenever you have an answer in this section is round to the nearest tenth. So what does that mean? When you have a decimal, let's say 5.2, we just want to have one decimal at the end. We don't want 2, we don't want 10, I just want one decimal. So over here, this says 38.64. How do you round? Well, if I draw a line after the 6, because I want one decimal, now I have to look at this number right here. If it is 5 or higher, so 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, I need to change the 6 to a 7. I need to increase it by 1. If this number is 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, I keep it the same. So this is 4, so my answer is going to be x equals 38.6, because it's 4, so I don't round up. I keep it the same. And what that really means, right? If you have two numbers, 38.6 and 38.7, those were your two options. 38.64, is that closer to 38.6 or is it closer to 38.7? Right, it's closer to 38.6. We say any number between 0 and 4 is going to be closer to 38.6. And if this was 5 or higher, it would be closer to 38.7. All right, cool. Let's try another one. Let me change my pen color. All right, this says 145.8 is what percent of 150.1? So I'm going to do what I did over here. Circle the percent. It says 92%. So percent. There's percent. It says what percent? Okay. Over here I boxed where it said of. This one says of 150.1. And then the is I underline. 145.8 is. Okay. So I'll write my proportion again. I have percent over 100 equals is over of. So let me fill it in. 145.8 is, so that should go on the top right. 145.8. All right, what percent? What percent? So that's the percent. When you have what, you don't know what it is. So I'm going to put an X on the top left. Below the percent is always 100, so that goes right there. Of 150.1, of is on the bottom right, so I'll put that right there. Now I need to solve for x, so I'll cross multiply. 100 times 145.8. So when you multiply times 100, you move the decimal point 2 to the right. So that's going to be 145.80, 14,580. And then I multiply x times 150.1 is 150.1x. Now I want to solve for x. So I'll divide by 150.1. I divide this by 150.1. I cancel that, and I have x. All right, let's do this in our head. Just kidding. Let's put that in a calculator. So 14,580 divided by 150.1. Oh, this is awkward. All right, what did I say? 14,580 divided by 150.1. Is that right? 14,580 divided by 150.1. Perfect. Okay. That equals, ooh, look at that number. I got 97,135,24,31712. I'm going to copy this number. Took a little picture. I'm going to put it right in. All right. Let me move that over to the side. And there we go right there. So let's round this number. So I want to draw a line to the right of the 10th place. So I'll draw a line right down there. So now I need to look at this number right here. If it's between 0 and 4, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, this stays the same, the 1 stays the same. If it was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I would change this 1 to 2. I would increase it by 1. So it's a 3, so that means it stays the same. So this answer is 97.1. All right, are we done? No, we're not done. Why? Because at the beginning too, I said check to make sure you have written your answer correctly. Percentages need a percent sign. So this is a percentage. It says what percent? This part right here, percent. So I need to put a percent sign. Let me go back down. So it's really 97.1%. So make sure you have the percent sign if your answer is in a percent. There it is, 97.1%. All right, let's try this one. Before I do that, I'm just gonna clear the screen. All right, this one right here. Let me write my proportion again. I have percent over 100 equals is over of. I circle the percent, 19%. I box the of what? Is 20.9. I underline the is. Now I just need to fill in my proportion. So the percent, I'll put 19. The 100 stays the same. Is, that was 20.9. And of what, right? There's of what? I don't know. So I'll put the X right there. So I need to cross multiply to solve. I get 19x equals 100 times 20.9. You remember, you can just move the decimal 2 to the right. So this is going to be 2090. Because the decimal's there. 1, 2, 2090. Now I divide by 19, divide by 19, cancel, x equals, let me put that in my calculator, 19, 2090, divided by 19, 110. Is this a percent? Well, this is the of, right? So that's not a percent. 19% of 100 is 20.9. So there's my answer right there. I kind of crossed it out, but x equals 110. All right, so you try 3. Try these videos. Try these problems, and then we'll go over them. All right, I hope you try these on your own. So let's go over them. The first one, what percent is of 99 is 156? So the first thing I do, I circle the percent, what percent, the of, I box it, and I underline the is. So what percent of 99 is 56? All right, let's take a look. So I do this every time. Percent over 100 equals is over of. What percent? So I have the percent right there. That is x because I don't know. It says what percent? I don't know. The 100 stays the same. 56, right? The is 56. The of is 99. If you think about this, like 99 is pretty close to 100. So what percent of 100 is 56? Well, 99 is close to 100, so my answer should be close to 56. So what I did, I set it up, and then I cross multiplied. 100 times 56, that's 5,600. X times 99, 99x. Then I divided by x, and I got this number, 56.56565656. So I told you before, we need to round, right? We need to round this number. I want to the nearest tenth. So you draw a line after the first decimal. You look at this number right here. If this is 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, so 5 or greater, then you need to round this number up 1. And so this is a 6, so I need to round that up. So 56 point is not 5 anymore. 0.6 equals x. All right, is that good? No, not yet. Why? Because if I go up and look at the question, it says what percent, right? That was a percent. So my answer for this one has to be a percent. So it's 56.6%. All right, cool. The next one, 141 is 75% of what? Let me scroll over. Bam, bam, bam. Set of my proportion. So is 75%, that's the percent. I box the of what? Doesn't tell me, so that would be the variable. And I underline the is, 141 is. All right, so 75%, I put that right there. The 100, I kept it. 141 is, there's is, I put in 141. Of what? There's of, I don't know what it is, so I put an X. Then I cross multiplied. 100 times 141 is 14,100. 75 times X is 75X. Then I divided by 75. That canceled right there. So I'm left with X. And over here, 14,100 divided by 75 equals 188. So that answer right there is good. It's not a percent, right? It's not looking for this percent part. So I don't need to write my answer in a percent. Cool. All right, last one. What is 7% of 93? So what is 7%? I circle that. Of 93, and it says what is. So percent, I put 7. Is, it said what is, so I put an X. Of 93, I put a box. Well, I boxed it, and then I wrote 93 down here. Then I cross multiply. 7 times 93 is 651. 100 times X, 100X. I divide by 100, divide by 100. X equals 6.51. I was going to circle it, but I can't yet. This has 2 decimals. I need 1. I want to round to the nearest tenth. So I draw a line after the 5. And I look at this number right there. Is this 0, 1, 2, 3, 4? Or is it 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Well, this is less than 5, right? So that means I do not change this 5. I keep it the same. So X equals 6.5. There you have it. Bam. Did you ask me for some word problems? Well, you got it. So this says a €3 tip is what percent of an 1870 euro taxi fare? So we just need to set this up like we would the problems we just did. So a €3 tip is what percent of an 1870 euro tax fare? So we can just write 3 is what percent of 1870, right? That's what this said, but I just condensed it into the shorter version. So if I set that up, remember I have percent over 100 equals is over of. So 3 is, I'll put that where that is. Oop, sorry, I should have underlined that, I believe. Underline. What percent? That's what I want to circle. I don't know, so I'll put an X for the percent. Always use 100 of 1870. 18, that's why I wanted to box it. 1870, that goes on the bottom. 1870. All right, so we can pause that one. You can try that. Actually, I'm going to start the second one, then you can do them both. All right, so the next one. What percentage of TBA's population, 982 students, and freshmen? That shouldn't say and. That should say are freshmen. What percentage of TBA's population are freshmen? All right, so this says what percentage. All right, I'll circle that. I don't know the percentage, so that would be X over 100, right? Of TBA's population, there's of, and that's 982 students, right? So of 982, so that goes down here with the of. And our freshmen are that's the plural of is, so that means the same thing. So R is, so I'll underline that, and we have 168. So go ahead, pause this video, pause, and try to solve these. So here's what I did. I had this proportion, then I cross multiplied. 100 times 3 is 300. X times 1870 is 1870x. And then I divided each side by 1870. That canceled. And then I divided 300 by 1870, and I got this long number right here. Alright, I draw this line. Now I need a round. So I look at this number. This is less than 5, so that means this is going to stay the same. So my answer will be 16.0, and this is a percent. What percentage? We're looking for this x, so 16.0% equals x. And you might say, well, hey, isn't it the same if I have a 0 right there, if I don't have a decimal? Well, I asked you to round to the nearest tenth, and it had all these numbers after. If you didn't put that 0.0, I might just think your answer was 16. All right, so if I say round to the nearest tenth, you can put that 0.0 there. The next one, 100 times 168, I got, what did I get? 16,800. And then I did x times 190 times 982. I'm getting my numbers mixed up. It was 982x. Then I divided each side by 982. These canceled, and I got this. Again, I draw my line right here. I look at this number. It's a 0. That's less than 5, so that means I keep this 1. So my answer is 17.1. And again, this is a percent. It's a percentage, so I have to write 17.1%. Alright, so here's a good old-fashioned application problem. So this table represents the distribution of all the dreams I have every night, right? Sometimes I dream about algebra, other times I dream about GIFs or GIFs, dream about cats, pizza, and Drake. You notice there's a lot of Drake in my videos. Alright, so if it says, if Mr. Durkis dreamt for 380 minutes last night, how many minutes were spent dreaming about Drake? Alright, so how can we do this? I like to write these in a simpler problem. No, it asked me about Drake, right? That's over here. That's 34%. And I have 380 minutes. That's the total. So that's the total. How many minutes were spent dreaming about Drake? Alright, so let's see. I think the question could be, what is 34% of the 380? How did I get this? So the total's 380, right? That's normally what I want of. I'm not looking for a percent, I'm looking for an amount of minutes, right? So what is 34% of 380? So if you set up your proportion percent over 100 equals is over of the percent, what is 34%? I know that, right? So 34 over 100. What is, that's what I don't know. I'll put an X. And the of is 380. So what you can do, right, make a word problem, make it a little simpler. Try to write something that you know. So what is 34% of 380, right? That's down there. You can solve that. Pause the video, try to solve it. So I set up this proportion. I did 100 times x equals 100x. 34 times 380 equals 12,920. And then I divide each side by 100. That side cancels. This side equals 129.2. Alright, so that's my answer. It already has one decimal point. Does it make sense? So it says if Mr. Durkis dreamt for 380 minutes last night, how many minutes were spent dreaming about Drake? Yeah, I mean, 129.2 is less than 380. It seems like that's a reasonable answer. So you can do that one works. Cool. So now the next one. If Mr. Durkis spent 45 minutes dreaming about cats, how long did he sleep? So I want to turn this one into another word problem, a simpler one. So if Mr. Durkis spent 45 minutes dreaming about cats, how long did he sleep? All right. So do I know a percentage? Do I? Well, that says cats, right? Cats, bam, 18%. So I do know my percentage. So if I have this thing, the proportion, percentage over 100 equals is over of, I know the percentage, right? This was 18%. All right, so I'll put my 18 right there over 100. All right, so if he spent 45 minutes dreaming about cats, how long did he sleep? All right. So the total, that's what I'm looking for. I know the part that I did, right? And so the smaller part is normally on the top up here. So 45 minutes over, and I can write, I'll put an X right there. So another way to think about this is the part is on the top and the whole is on the bottom. 100%, that's whole, that's everything. The total amount that I slept will be down here, and just the part that I slept will be up top. So pause this video, try to solve that one, and we'll come back and check it. Alright, so here's the answer. Before I do the answer though, take a look up here. I wrote this sentence. 45 is what is 18% of what a number. So my 45, that was the is. 18, that was the percent. Of what number? That's what we're trying to find, this of what number. So we set it up, cross multiply, 100 times 45, 4,500. 18 times x is 18x. And then I divide by 18 on both sides, that cancels. This over here equals 250. So that's it. Good luck with the packet. Good luck with the mastery check. I hope you get a 100% on the mastery check. 80% will be good too. You guys can do it. Keep working hard. Durkis out.